um, what I'll share is that this is going to be the most important 4 weeks for your sales year. And this is because really we're going to dive into the psychology of selling. Funny thing is that most people getting into real estate don't realize that this is sales, right? And it's your ability to influence and help coach people in one of the biggest decisions that they made in their life, right? When it comes to an asset of buying, selling, or investing. And so we're going to go through this journey. And what I would encourage is to commit to coming to all 4 weeks. They're all going to be very different. And so today we're going to be talking about the art of sales, the psychology behind sales, and really giving you some frameworks to play with. And then next week, we'll actually be diving into negotiation strategies. So what are some techniques that you can use to actually influence your clients, to influence the buyer or selling agent on the other side, and really to make sure that you are closing more transactions this year. So today we get the opportunity to learn from Courtney Nielsen. I will also be jumping in after some of her wisdom this year. And Courtney, congratulations. You just had a huge accomplishment, right? So Courtney just graduated from KU with her master's in real estate development, right? Which is awesome. So congratulations. So great to be able to hear Courtney today. She's honestly a rock star agent, been in the business for some time now and does lots in the industry. So we're excited for 2020. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. So, it's the title. It's called Transformative Techniques, the Blending the Art and Science of Sales Mastery. And the reason why I chose the word transformative is I really want us to think about today how we can transform our mindset and how we think about sales. The old school way of sales does not resonate with me at all. I am more of an intuitive salesperson. I lead from empathy. And those are the things that we're going to talk about today is how we can best serve our clients instead of thinking about, well, we're just...
You should be able to there's a clicker there. And
all right. Right. So we're going to jump right in. Before we get into my whole bit about empathetic selling, I want to talk about ask the question, what is selling? Tell me what you think selling is before we even dive into this. What is selling to you?
It's helping people find a solution to their problem.
I like that. We'll find solutions. Okay, anyone else? Influencing. Okay, anything else?
Yeah.
Whoa. Transfer. Enthusiasm.
A show of capability and willingness to provide services.
Services. Oh, these are all so good. I love it. And it's so opposite than what you find on Google. How does Google define selling? That's going to be probably my key. I'm thinking the presentation's on my computer. It's on the clip. Okay. Process of persuading someone to purchase a product or service by effectively communicating its value. Persuading, I think that's like influencing. I think the thing I don't work about persuasion. That's to make of the reason that I already committed design. Yeah, manipulation, it's bad. Yeah. So we really have to be careful how we go about influencing or persuading people. So I'm willing to look at it Because I think persuading is like old school. I'm trying to force something from you know, I'm trying to like push until they agree. Yeah, I'm not gonna leave the table until they say yes. That's not. So I like this better. Selling means that you're providing an opportunity or your facilitating something incredible. And we really are facilitating something incredible. We are helping people find their American dream, which is home ownership. There's nothing more important than having a home to live. And it's really incredible that we get to be a part of people's story, but a part of their journey. So let's talk about the art versus the science of selling. I came up with a few different things for the art. For me, I like to think of it as empathetic selling, or as one of my coaches, Darcy Benicosa, she calls it soulful selling. I love that description. This is where we're coming from a place of service and we're providing value. Value is the inner work that you have to go through to figure out what that is. We have to practice active listening and genuine care for our clients and build trust. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is alignment. The inner game. What does alignment mean when we're working with our clients? The science of selling, okay, we can build a database and feed it every day. We can communicate in a systematic way, service all of our leads, know your market, develop expert negotiation skills, leverage technology, customer service, effective marketing, prospecting strategies, and understand financing options. These are all important. These are equally important to the art, right? But this step on the right, I feel like it's kind of easy to process that because they're step-by-step, it's systematic. These are the checklist of things that we get to do and that we need to do for our businesses to be successful. But the art is a little bit, this is how you put your spin on it. This is where you make you, Dean.
The column on the right is simple.
Yeah.
The stuff on the left is not.
You are right. Dean says, if for the Zoom people, if you can't hear, the column on the right, this is the simple stuff. I mean, simple is relative to. The column on the left, that's the hard stuff that we have to figure out. Okay, we're going to spend our time today here talking about how I go. This is my process. This is how every single one of us, you have to find what resonates for you, right, in your business. I like to dive into the woo a little bit. That calls to me. And so, but if that's not your thing, that's okay. There's other, you've got to figure out your art of selling. And there is a balance between these two, the art and science. So let's move on. Okay. Selling, this is another thing a coach talks about. She says, selling is an invitation to create magic. When you read that or hear that, is that a key? Selling is an invitation to create magic.
Fellows feel like it's good opportunity to get words like.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Look, this is a magical experience, a connection, what we're creating with our client. And you're right, we are making dreams come true. We talked about that. Buying a home is the American dream. Okay. So, we get to create some change. Oh, well, part of that is gone. So this should say we create change and we create experiences. So talking about we create change, when you're selling, you're asking someone to do something that maybe they haven't done before, right? Maybe they're breaking out of a pattern. Maybe they're taking a risk. They're making a change, and people do not like change, right? What are some of the things that our clients, what are some specific changes or risks that we're helping to facilitate for them? like in our business? What are some of the risks or changes that we get to help them through? What?
We just experienced it. We just moved. So we have to hack stuff, unpack stuff.
Yeah. So moving is scary, Erica. Lots of fears.
I've not seen the loss.
Oh, what? I'm not good enough. Do I deserve this? What else? Oh, my credit, is it good enough? Do I even know what I'm doing? Right?
Or loss in investment. Oh, it was the ask medicine.
Yes. Fear for a loss of investment. Maybe we're buying the wrong thing, right? And so it's scary for buyers. Or the wrong time. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. We also create experiences. So I want you to think about your client's experiences as this is how I like to think. I like to think of going on a journey, and I'm inviting my client along on that journey, or actually they're inviting me along on their journey, right? If we flip the story, instead of me being the hero, they're the hero, right? I'm the Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So what does that client journey look like for your client? We're going to have some homework for tonight, actually, for the week. One of my pieces of homework is I want you to think about the client journey that you are going to send your client on. Okay? There should be a buyer journey and there should be a seller journey. From the moment you meet that person until they close, what does that look like? And after closing, what does that look like for them? So I have a follow-up system to ensure that my clients are getting a luxury experience every single time. So back to that science, I do have systematic approaches. I have follow-up systems. That's a system. But then you've got to think about that system and think, how can I make this an experience, not a system or not a follow-up, right? So think of it that way. So that's part of your homework for the week, is for you to think about what kind of experience your buyers or your sellers are going to have working with you. Okay? All right. So we're going to go over 5 tips for empathetic selling. Say my tan background is gone. So that's why we can't see the numbers. Okay, so our number 1 tip is serve, not sell. What do you think we mean by that? Serve, not sell. It's gone. No. Serve, not sell. Oh, you can see it over there.
Well, it's getting on their agenda instead of our own agenda. Well, because the problem with a lot of salespeople is I'm going to sell this first, no matter what, And so they're pushing, and they don't realize that these people do have a lot of fear. I just as last week I ran into, talking with my daughter, who I'm trying to convince to buy a house, make me 6 figures. And I'm like, hey, she's got a lot of fears. I'm not quite sure where it came from. And, the problem with that is the more you push your agenda, the more they fight you on. And I ran into a senior couple that, we want to sell, we want to buy it to the home. And as soon as, I started going like, okay, we've got this agenda, we've got to get this thing, your house stage, stuff like that. After 2 days of backing up, they're going like, I don't know what we're to sell it for,
Right. It's a lot of work to sell a house. You can attest to it.
Where they are,
right,
and gradually, pull it forward, but make it very simple.
I love that. So I guess the key thing here is we're going to put our clients first, right? Come from a place of serving rather than selling. So you're going to show up in our power with confidence and willing to serve. What do you think that means to show up in your power?
being a real estate professional, it's like you have know how you've got the knowledge. In my case, they got this shit. Plus, you have the experience behind you to understand this is what you buy, this is what you are. Wow, it's not something that they have are easily accessible.
Good. I love that. Good. I mean, selling is a given place because the service can you need to first understanding their problems and talk about problems and finding solutions to their problems. So we come from a place of service rather from a place of pushing, right? We're here to serve, we're here to help, we're here to facilitate you. We're going to ask questions and we're going to help them solve their problems, the solutions to those problems that they might have. Which means there's going to be a lot of questions, right? This is more about them and less about you. There's this old, selling, it's like show, not tell, right? So how can we show them or help them find solutions rather than tell them what they need to do, right? So asking questions. I love this last bit. You never know how your service is going to change lives. Maybe somebody's been saving for their, so I don't know, the last 5 years to buy a house. They're finally at a place where they can buy. And it's scary to finally put and take all that money that they have in their savings account to dump it into a house, worrying about whether it's going to be a good investment for them, whether they're going to be able to keep paying their mortgage. This is a scary place. But at the end of the day, if they're able to get over that fear, it's going to change their life. They're going to be in a new place. They're going to have a new confidence about themselves because they're able to buy a home. There's so much confidence that comes from owning a home, right? Okay. Number 2, know your value. This one is hard, right? When I first got into real estate, we preach here and other workers too, but what is your value proposition? What are you bringing to the table? And I was constantly thinking, I don't know what I'm bringing to the table. And so the only thing that I knew what to do was to keep learn as much as I can, and to do. Just be willing to take risks, be willing to go out of my comfort zone and help people, even though I didn't know what I was doing. Now I'm in a place where I do feel like I know my value. I feel like after finishing my master's degree, I was at a retreat and I had this revelation and I'm like, okay, I think I'm done with going to the formal education like college. I'm done there. I no longer need to prove myself to anyone else. I am enough. Enough is a pretty big place to get to, where you can figure out or where you can know that you are enough, that you're enough for the people that you're meant to serve. So some of the things sometimes we as agents would go into our heads, right? And we start thinking in our head and we're like, we're self-sabotaging sometimes, right? And we tell ourselves, oh, I hope Lisa can see what I'm worth. When you think that way, you're putting that energy on your client. It is not their job to tell you or to figure out what's your worth. That is your job to figure out your worth. We're all enough. There's enough business out there for all of us to succeed, for all of us to prosper, because there's people out there who are meant to work with you and you and you and you, and that's okay. We don't have to have all the business. We just have to have a little piece of the pie, and that's enough, right? So how do I show my value? Instead, I want you to think of this question. Write this on your notes. How do you see your value? Well, write that down. That's a big question, very loaded question. And maybe you don't know the answer to that today, but I want you to think about, how do you see your value? When you can see your value, your clients will see your value. they will feel that energy from you. Coming from this confident place, sometimes this takes time to build. Okay, so let's see. So Ben and I, so in the early part of our real estate business, Ben was working for a builder, and he was like the top salesman for this builder. And every year he sold, I don't know, like 100 houses. And I was over here. I had just left teaching. I'm learning the industry. I'm in lots of classes like you. And my confidence was really low, which is crazy because like the time I was came out of the womb, I was full of confidence, right? But I had like very little confidence when it came to selling real estate and knowing my value. We worked to see, Ben ended up leaving the builder, and we decided to team up at that time. And I was such a different person back then. That was only, you guys, like 5 or 6 years ago. But because I was willing to put one foot in front of the other and keep trying, as I got sale after sale after sale after sale, my confidence grew, right? Eating into myself. So sometimes you have to fake it until you make it, and that's okay, right? And what I mean by that is continuing to get up, continuing to try every single day, even if you don't have all the answers. And though learning is wonderful and it's perpetual, I'm a lifetime learner. I'm always looking to master my craft, seeking excellence in everything that I do. But there is a point where you have to do, right? Okay. And part of this work, this inner work, is overcoming some of your own blocks so that you can help your clients overcome their blocks. What kind of fears do I have with selling real estate? Okay, how does that translate? If I can figure out how to push through my fears, then I can help my clients figure out how they can push through their fear of buying a home. So this is a lot of inner stuff that I want you guys to think about. The most important thing is to believe in you. Believe in your worth, because you are enough. We're all enough. The next point is be an active listener and show genuine care for your clients. And part of this, what this means to me is we have to get out of our health space and into our heart space. We, as a society, we're all in our heads all the time. And we can try to get out of our heads and stop worrying. And instead lead from here. That's that place of service for our clients, wanting to do the best thing for a client. Remember, this isn't about you, it's about them. How can you add value and serve them in that moment? The biggest thing is you're going to guide them through their blocks. And what I mean by blocks are like their objections. Everyone has objections, right? How can we push through those objections? Help them push them instead of running away from those objections, which you guys, it's hard sometimes being on a sales call, discovery call, consultation call, whatever one want to call that call. That's a scary thing. And we're pushing through our fear to get on that call. But when we're on that call, it's not about us anymore. And if we just stop worrying about us and worrying about the client, the call becomes so much easier. In fact, it becomes joyful because we're here listening to them and what their problems are and how we can help them.
Tim, what's one thing you do to help you get out of your way?
Yeah, good question. So for me, I like to do a little bit of breath work before I decide to do my calls, and just kind of centering myself, doing some, even if it's just like 10 deep breaths, in and out, and I just do that a few times. Another thing is that we learned from one of the Tony Robbins guys who was here. He says to stand in your power, get into your Superwoman pose, and sometimes just doing that, standing up and, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm confident, I'm ready to stir. Sometimes that's all it takes. But I need, I'll answer your question. Yeah, I think getting into a good mental space for me before I get on the call and trying to take that when I do the breath work or breathing exercises or whatever, or even just some stretching, trying to get some energy flowing through your body. I know some people really like the idea, even when you're on the call, to stand up because you have more energy when you're on the call. You're standing up rather than sitting down, which sounds tired. So sometimes that really helps people. For me, I can be energetic either way. I get really excited. But the most important thing is to acknowledge their fears and objections instead of running away from them. We're going to walk to them. And as we do that, we're going to help them come to a place of calm. So, does that make sense to you? Anyone have anything you want to add here?
This is really important here. This had to, you get up and say it, but and then make sure the audience understands this here. Stephen Covey, taught empathetic listening or reflective listening and stuff like that. And it's actually a technique that you're not just in my heart I'm listening with this person. You're actually repeating back what they're saying because they need to feel understood before they're going to start giving you the confidence and a confident you. Because if you don't understand them, they're already at 2%.
Exactly. And that's part of active listening. You need to be present, right? Present in the phone call. And I think a lot of us have a tendency that when people are talking, we start to think of what we're thinking the next step ahead, right? Of how we can, what questions we're going to ask or how can we respond to that instead of, which is really hard for some people to do, is to stop doing that and listen to what they're saying. And when you're listening, you're right. You are answering back, you're repeating what they're saying. So this is what I'm hearing. Is this right? Right? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. The next part is building trust. And I think Shelby's going to go into a little bit more of this. But can you read the 4 agreements? So the 4 agreements, I think it's the first one, talks about being impeccable with your word. What does that mean? Being impeccable with your word.
I'm guessing here, but I would say your use of language is specific to your target. And so you're working with a client and they are wanting a good structured answer. That is the answer they give them. That they want be able to just talk to you and communicate calmly, and that is how you will.
Okay. Yes, I think that's part of it.
Well, knowing that your word has power.
Word has power.
Say something, that you be ready to stand by it.
Yes. So we're in integrity, right? Is that what you're going to say?
I'm going to say integrity, and that basically, if you say you're going to do something, you will do it.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Lost to you, you're going to do it because it's be promised.
Yes, and I was really thinking about this in the messaging that I'm putting out into to my clients, and that's like with my listing guides and my buyer guides and then all of these things that I'm doing that I'm seeing that I'm going to do. Am I doing those? Whatever you say you're going to do, or whatever systems or whatever is in your playbooks, your guides, whatever, you need to follow through with that, right? Or in your meetings, when you're sitting down one-on-one in consultation or in a listening session, something you say you're going to do something, you've got to do it. As you said, words have power. And when we're speaking with integrity, we are building trust with our clients, right? And we're building a reputation. And in this business, reputation matters. Right? It's a very small industry. And I think this applies to not only working with our clients, but also working with other agents. Building those relationships. Okay. Remember, people do business with people, or people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And being people by our word is part of that. Building that more luck and trust factor.
How do you do timeline on that? You promise to do something. Last time,
Right then.
So when you promise something, so
Yeah. Sometimes, no, I actually do try to give deadlines because I think that's important to set a good expectation instead of just like an open-ended thing. I mean, granted, some things might be open-ended, but like for example, like the other day, for one of my listings, I needed to do some updates and look at the market and just because we hadn't heard, no, I'm not forget. So we needed to look at this. We need to look at the numbers and see what's going on, has been going on over the last 3 weeks since we listed, and where are we at with price? Is there anything else we need to addition of it all, or anything like that? And so I told them that day, I said, hey, just so you know, I'm in an appointment right now, and then I have a class that I was teaching after. I said, but tonight when I get back from all the things that of my day, you're at the top of my list, and I will get back. I'll get those numbers to you tonight. Maybe that was a little or what's the word? Yeah, it was a little optimistic, but at like 9 p.m. I was like bed. Then like, wait, let's go to bed. I'm tired. Are you tired? And I'm like, I want to, but I have to pick this over to so and so. And it's like, look, we can just do it in the morning. I was like, no. I told them I would do it today. Even it was like, they're following bad. They're not listening. I said, it doesn't matter. I told them I'm going to do it today. So I'm going to do it today. And so, yeah, I didn't send it over till like 10 p.m. And probably they didn't look at it, but they did look at it first thing in the morning, and they emailed me back at like 7 in the morning. So they knew that I kept my word. I told them I would do it, and I did. So, yeah, I mean, it might look differently for different activities, but yeah. Okay, desperate energy, or something they call that commission black, right? Is detrimental to building the trust with our clients. When they think that you're doing this because you're in it for the money, that sends the wrong type of energy. So really, really, really try your best to take that out of conversation, feelings, all of it. Okay, be transparent. Show up in your power with confidence and willing to serve, and they will feel if you're not just trying to. So the last thing we're going to talk about is alignment. Be in alignment, and there's what is it? The secret about the bun, and it's said. I don't know. I think there's power in like being open to what the universe can send you, right? When you are open to that, and you are in the right mindset, and we're seeking that. There's other people who are seeking you, and when you're in the right alignment, but being unattached to the outcome of whatever happens in the sun's call, in consultation, whatever. Yeah, we all want the sale. At the end of the day, I want the listing. But I'm okay coming from a neutral position, whether they choose me or don't choose me. There's a reason for that. Maybe, and it's okay if you fired your client, or not fired them, but it's okay if you, fire is over, yes. But it's okay if you decide not to work with somebody too, right? I was working with a client, and we had a relationship in ISO 1 hopes for this person for over the last 2 years. And he was new at his craft. And so at the beginning, I gave him a lot of grace in that, hey, he's learning, he's new to industry. He's new to the industry. And so I just kept giving lots of grace and like forgiving the mistakes that were coming from the build. It's been 2 years. It had been 2 years, and I just really feeling like deep in my bones that we were not aligning. I like to lead my business from a place of integrity, and I did not feel like he was doing that in his business. I felt like he was already cutting up a lot of relationships just to save money. He was cutting corners on things, and kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me is on house that was under contract. The buyer, one of the buyers, it was like $650,000, $700,000 house, and you're going up the stairs, and it didn't have the trim up the stairs, or what is that called? Not the name for it, but for the stairs. Yeah, the skirt. Thank you. It didn't have a skirt on it. And the clients were like, oh, this doesn't have a skirt. Like, kind of like, why isn't it there? And he refused to put a skirt on because he'd have to like take off the carpet and, put the boards in, paint them, whatever. And I'm like, okay, how much would this really cost to do this? Like, I won't pay for it. I even told him, I'll pay for this out of my commission. Like, it's $500. Just put the freaking things on. Absolutely refused. And I was like, come and watch. You're not good. I do not work for you anymore. And so we started our relationship. And in that moment, the moment that we walked away, I felt so good inside. I knew I had made the right decision, even though it was really hard because I was getting, 10 sales probably a year or not. It's a lot of money to just walk away from. But I feel better, and I actually had a lot more creativity flow, like I was ready to serve other people who I had worked with, so I felt good about working with. What is meant for you will not pass you by. So kind of back to that idea that there's enough business for all of us to succeed. I truly, truly believe in that. And this last thing I think is really important. Believe that there are infinite clients. You guys, there are infinite clients. Say that with me. There are infinite clients. There's enough for all of us. And there's going to be more. Even when the market's scary, the interest rates are sky high, people are afraid to sell, people are afraid to buy, there are still people buying. Last year was one of my highest parsing years in real estate. And interest rates were like at 8%. So there are always people looking to buy. So what is meant for you will not pass you by. You don't have to come from a place of worry or scarcity because if you do, those energies are felt by your prospects. So you're here to help you, James Township. Okay, so I'm going to get to the last game. So we're going to talk about some conversational frameworks really quick. For me, I don't really use a lot of scripts. And the reason for that is because I'm really trying to practice listening skills. And I feel like when you're listening to your clients, truly, actively listening and repeating back what they're saying, you don't need a script. You let it, for me, that works. If you're like, I need a script, there are options out there. So there's a QR code. If you haven't accessed the Real Estate Basics Playbook, it's in the, anyway, there's a QR code that will lead you right to it. But it's in the back office, it's the new agents HQ. And, but here's the thing. Anytime you're on a call or face-to-face, it is about the other person. Don't have to worry, will I say the right thing? Instead, you think, what did they say? And am I hearing them? And then, okay, so even though I don't really have a script, I do try to do this LP common theory idea, right? Which is in the holistic conversation, as we're talking authentically, I'm not following a script, but I am thinking, hey, I have to ask them about where they're looking to buy. I have to ask them about what price point Have they been pre-approved? Are they working with an agent? All those things. But I don't actually follow a script for that. I'm just, we're in conversation, right? And we're asking questions and I'm listening to them and then leading into the next question. Really, for me, you guys, I don't know, it's a crazy thing that I like really follow my intuition, and try to read other people's energies and, you know, what kind of energy they're putting off. And I don't know, maybe it's just a natural thing for me, but that's what I do. And then when I feel, so I really try to lead by my intuition and then pivot when I feel like I need to pivot. Maybe it's like ask another question or lead us down another path or something like that. There's also 3 books that I recommend. If you don't have these, I recommend getting them or listening to them on Audible or Spotify. How to Win Friends and Influence People. This Phil Jones, Exactly What to Say, is one of the most powerful tools, a conversational framework works that you will ever read. And he's in Canada, right, John?
He's not an agent, but they bring him in quite often.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was that brother. And then Crucial Conversations is another key book that I think are really great to help you with, you know, building your conversational frameworks. And I'm really sorry it took a long time, Shawnee. Any questions before I turn over to Shawnee? Yeah, awesome.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you, Courtney. I want to start actually with one of the questions that Courtney posed, because I think it's so important, is the question of how do you see your value? And I think that when it comes to sales, this is probably one of the most important questions to start with, is what is the actual value for the services or product that you're providing to a client? And getting very clear, one of my beliefs is that the amount of